Info Days session. We have our speaker waiting online, so we wouldn't want to delay too much longer. We'd like to request all of you to please take your seats immediately because we are now ready to begin. Please allow me to introduce to you our speaker who's going to be joining us up next online. We have with us Dr. Jenny Elmaco. She is key expert and academic expert, providing centralized support for Erasmus Plus national focal points at the European Commission. Her expertise in partner searching as well as the application procedure for funding is invaluable to our endeavors in enhancing higher education through international collaboration. And in her presentation, Dr. Elmaco will guide us through the intricacies of partner searching as well as the procedure to apply for funding under the Erasmus Plus program. So with this brief introduction, we're now happy to hear from Dr. Jenny Elmaco. She'll now join us on screen. And I now present the stage to her and hope she will carry on.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you, but we're just waiting for the image to come up on screen. Yes, okay.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And it's a pleasure for me to be in Sri Lanka, although I hope I was there in the flesh. But however, here we are. I am getting all the energies, however, from the participants in the room. I have seen your program and the great projects that Sri Lanka has done, especially in capacity building for higher education. And I am incredibly impressed. And I'm hoping that through this event, and of course also through this demystification of how to go through the procedure to apply for funding and the call for proposals and the partner search, that more and more Sri Lankan institutions will avail of the many opportunities under the Erasmus Plus program. So I know that you just came from lunch, and it's always a challenge to speak after lunch. However, this is very interesting, and I know this is very important. So, but just in case there is something that is still, unclear after my presentation, especially since you are still digesting, your lunch, then please, you have your very active ENFP. And I'm very happy as well. And I give my regards to the EU delegation and, of course, the ministry for this event. So let's get to it. First of all, let's look at how to apply for funding. And as you know, the funding for the European Commission is through a portal. We fondly call it FTOP, or the Funding and Tenders Portal. So many of or programs, not only Erasmus Plus program, if you want to apply for it, you go through this platform. So, but first of all, let me see if I can share my slides now. It seems not to be moving. Okay. Can you confirm with me that the slide is moving? Yes, I can see it from the screen. No worries. Okay. So first of all, this is how the funding and tender portal looks like. There are some updates because it has been the IT team has put some things there just to tighten how the portal looks like and how it functions, but essentially it is the same. So you see here that you can have personalized access to the IT tools. And then, of course, you open an account so that you can have personalized access to your user account. So we will look at this in three ways. First of all, you as individuals, you have to have a unique EU login account. This is the unique identifier for persons. And our advice, please, is to link this to your professional email address. Okay, so that's for you. Now, for organizations that will participate in centralized actions, such as the capacity building for higher education discussed today, an organization would need to have a PIC number. So, and we will discuss how to get that PIC number. And then this EU login account, so will be linked to all the roles that the user, the user will be in the projects and organizations through an identity and access management, an IAM. So we will discuss that in a bit. First of all, creating your own personal account, okay? So it's very easy. It's just like, opening Facebook. And if you are a bit younger, then you would prefer Instagram. I was told that Facebook is for old people. So I guess for the younger generation, it would be Instagram or TikTok. So it's this essentially the same, similar, you just open an account, you click, in this case, you click on the register button, you enter your name and preferably a professional email address, and then click on the link because it will confirm that you have access to this email, and then you set up your password. So it's a single sign-on, so one EU login account equals to one email address, which is equal to one person. So that is really yours. And of course, a very important reminder not to share your EU login credentials with anyone. So that's really yours. To manage your EU login account, you go to the upper right corner, and I will show you this live after we go through the slide, so you see what I mean. So you manage your EU login account, you click on that on the upper right corner. And if you want to change your EU login password, you go to this gear, this thing that looks like a gear, and then you can change your login password there. Also, the EU is really encouraging to have a two-factor authentication, as with banks, banks or maybe even in your universities, when you have your official email accounts, it has a two-factor authentication. You can do that you can install the EU login mobile app that's available in the App Store or Google Play, depending on what device you use. Or and you can log in with a QR code or a PIN code, or you can authenticate via an SMS confirmation and use a trusted platform. So it's essentially the same thing as when you do your banking or again, maybe in your institution. So it's just really a two-factor authentication. So you click on security settings here. And then here you register your mobile phone or device, and then you click on activate. It's very easy. And after you do that, you receive this confirmation that it has been the mobile phone is now linked to your login account. And then you can log in now to the page where you register, where you sign in. So in this case, you don't need you need your password, but you also need the second factor authentication, which is through these things. I would suggest your mobile phone plus your SMS. So this is a suggestion from the EU, so that we make sure that nobody hacks in, nobody spams you, nobody fishes something from you, and your information is secured. As you know, the EU is very strict about protecting your data. I mean, it is your data. It's the most important currency in the world. And so the protection of that, the ownership of that, and the management of that has to be controlled by you. So this is one of the ways to make sure that it doesn't go awry or somebody else has access to it. So this is assuming now that you have your login, so your personal login. Now let's go to your organization. So as I said, if your organization wants to participate, first of all, it has to have a PIC. And very important to note, this is for centralized actions. And when I say centralized actions, these are actions that are directly managed. And I think Eugenio is inside the room. This is through ASEA. So this is to the Commission. You do have decentralized actions, and I will explain that later as well. And you need another number for that. And an example of that would be international credit mobility. And that is not your focus for today, but I will still teach you how to do that, just in case you would be interested also in applying for that. So with decentralized actions, in this case, it is the national agencies or the EU member states so that's why we call it the national agencies, who are managing the project. So for example, you want to do an international credit mobility with a partner. What happens is you do not apply for it directly as a coordinator. It will be your EU partner applying to the national agency. That is why it's called decentralized. But again, this is a CBHE info session, so I won't deal so much on that, but I will teach you still how to do that, just in case you are interested later on to do a decentralized action, so international credit mobility. But let's focus here first. How to get a participant identification code for your institution. So this is how it works. First of all, we want to make sure that your institution doesn't have a PIC already, because there's only one PIC for just once, and then you can use it over and over and over for your institution. So please check first by clicking on search a PIC and put your organization name and see if your organization is there. If it's not, if it is not there, if it's not, you cannot find it, then of course you can now start to register your organization. And it's pretty straightforward to do that. There is a registration wizard that will guide you through the process. The registration would take perhaps 10 minutes maximum, very, very easy. And then, just in case, as you go through the process, the information will be saved so you don't lose anything, okay? And then, of course, when it is completed, then you get the PIC, or the participant identification code. So this is how to register in the participant, to register your organization. There's an identification, for example, the organization data, legal information, authorized users. So we are assuming already that you are an authorized user. You have been given this responsibility to open the account in behalf of your institution, and that is why you're doing it, okay? And then, of course, after that, the registration is completed, and then the new participant identification code will be in a declared status. So you, as the person registering the organization, receive a self-registrant role, because as the name implies, you're registering for this, through this process. And this person will be the contact person until a leader is appointed. So a leader is the person, the legal entity that is responsible for the management and financial aspects of your organization. But until you appoint a leader, you will be the contact person, the person who opened the account. So when the registration is completed, the PIC number is provisional because it has to go through a validation process, because of course the EU needs to know that you are who you say you are, and the institution is also who you say it is. So it has to do a background check. So all contact with the validation services will take place inside the participant register. So the legal validation process will be done by RHEA, and this after a successful evaluation, it's just once, then you can go through your first grant agreement or contract. And then, if you apply again, it's the same PIC number over and over and over again. So you only need to do this for your institution once. Very important though to note, make sure that the access to the PIC, to the account, will be make sure that because there have been issues where somebody leaves or somebody retires, and this is the only person who has access to the account. And when when another person tried in behalf of the institution to go inside, they couldn't access it anymore because the person already retired and did not bequeath or did not leave the access code. So please, be very important to have this safely guarded, and just in case, if you are if you are the one responsible for it, if you leave or if you retire, for example, make sure that it is left with the proper person that can manage it in behalf of your institution. This is just an overview of the validation process. So you have the registration, which we just showed, and then it goes through a verification and validation of legal data, and then you appoint the leader, and then if there could be a financial capacity assessment if it's needed, and all of the communication, of course, is done through the participant register. Now, I know that several of you have tried, I was told, to go through the funding and tenders, and there's some confusion, and it can be overwhelming if you don't know the platform, but it's really easy once you know where to find some stuff. So hopefully with this presentation, you are able to do that. So let's try to look at the basic structure of EU funding. So as I said, the Funding and Tenders portal is not just for the Erasmus Plus program. It is also for other programs of the European Commission. For example, a very important and probably also an interesting program for you is Horizon Europe. So Horizon Europe is another program. It's more on research and innovation. If you know about the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions, which has also funding for PhD, doctoral networks, postdoctoral networks, and staff exchanges, which might be interesting also for your institutions, you can also participate and apply through and find information about it through also the funding and tenders portal. So this is a rich portal, not just for Erasmus Plus, but of course our focus now is looking at how to apply for an Erasmus Plus action. So here is how it goes. You see programs there, and under the programs there are calls, and then there are topics, and we will see that live in a bit. On the left-hand side, you can see a search function. You can narrow your search as with any website. You can look at the search functions there. You can search by keyword, and there are two main types that are in the funding and tenders portal. There are grants and tenders. So as the name implies, grants, of course, is basically what we're applying for. Tenders are when the commission wants a service that needs to be done. Like, let's say it needs maybe an institution to provide conference services, let's say, or translation services, then that is a tender. In the case of our discussion today, we are looking at grants, okay? So grants are nonprofit opportunities that have activities funded by the EU, and tenders are calls from the EU to buy goods or services at a fixed price. So just to let you know about that. And if you try to search on things here, let's try to go on the left side. We chose grants because that's what we are interested in, and there is submission status. You can see those that are forthcoming, so it's not yet open. These are grants that are not open. There are grants that are open for submission. So you might be surprised if you go through the funding and tender portal now. If you look at Erasmus Plus, there are some things that are open, but most of them are closed. Like if you see CBHE is closed at the moment. Okay, so you will not see it is open for submission. It will open, I think you have been informed already today, it will open end of October, early November, more or less, and then the call will close in February. Okay, so but through knowledge of the funding and tenders portal and also using the functionalities inside, such as the partner search, it will help to prepare you, and also it will help for you to find partners, and also to make sure that you are, addressing and aligning with what you want to do and what you want to propose, for the development of your institution. So in the case of CBHE, I'm sure it has been explained very well by our colleagues there. It's really the most important thing is to do a needs analysis, right? So and one of the the best way also to make sure that you are targeting the right targets and getting the right match for your project is to find a partner that really aligns with you. And this is why even if the call for Erasmus Plus will open in the next month, still it is important already at this time to have the information to go through the funding and tenders portal, find your partners, and get also information on how it works. Okay, and this also there are also things here that are closed. I mean, for me, even if it's closed, it's good to look at the information. There's still a lot of information that you can see. Of course, you see here the programming period, the program group. In this case, I put Horizon Europe, and then so other information here. You see here on the right, it's open for submission, and the kind, whether it's a grant or a tender. Okay. So as I said, there's a lot of information that you can see here, general information, as I said, the topic description, and then here a partner search announcement and the start submission. This is assuming that it's already open. And I'll give you an example later of an open call. Okay, open call, but not necessarily something that you can apply for. Okay, just to be very important. It's very important because with the Erasmus Plus, it's a huge program. But not all the actions are open for third countries not associated to it. But there are a lot, such as CBHE. The reason for that, of course, is it depends on, again, also on the needs analysis that the European Commission has done when it comes to its international partnerships with different parts of the world. So in this case, with CBHE, which I think you can agree is perfect, to help Sri Lankan institutions in improving, your educational governance and, all the topics that you want to develop inside your higher education institutions. But I will just show you an example just so you can see how it looks like if the submission process is already open. Very important as well. This is because this is sometimes neglected. There is a frequently asked question box that you can click on. And here you can see questions that probably is the same question that you are asking now or you would like to ask. So it's important to also look through those, find the time to look through those. And most of the time, the things that are still not very clear to you, it would become much more understandable, by looking at the frequently asked questions. Of course, there is also, you can get support inside the platform as well. And then from time to time, the commission has updates on the call, and you see that in the call update. So a lot of information inside the call that you can see. This is just a general overview of what you see when you click on it. So for example, this one is Horizon Europe, as I said. There's just information right now is open for, well, not right now, but like this is just a snapshot of how it looks like when it is open for submission, and all the information that you need to have there. But as I said, you will see how it is live for another project. We will go through the funding and tenders portal after I go through the slide, so you see what I mean, okay? And then as I said, inside this specific call, there is a partner search announcement. And these are institutions who are publishing partner requests. They are looking for their perfect match, okay? And so you can click on that and see, perhaps this is the kind of institution that you want to partner with. And this is the institution that also, matches the needs depending on the proposal that you want to submit. And then, of course, here, then you can, if you click here, when you've already selected, then you start the submission. We will also go through the application form just to let you know how it looks like. Okay, so when you go to partner search, so if you go through, you click on the partner search announcements, then you see there are different kinds of things that are posted, and you can just see, for example, there are even like non-academic partners, but depending on what you need. Okay, so you remember that in CBHE you have partnerships that you need, the number of institutions that you need in order to be able to find that right balance, to be able to be successful in the proposal. But there's a lot of information there and a lot of institutions that are inside the platform. So very important to look at that. Another way to search for partners, it's not that, it's the one below. It says partner search. Okay, so you can also look at that. And this one, if you click on that, it goes to the database of institutions, and you can see it there. You can key in a word, like for example, if you're interested in sustainability, you can put sustainability there, or perhaps you're interested in somebody based in Spain, then you can put some Spain there. You can also further refine the search by looking at the specific program or the specific topic, and as I said, the location and all that. So this one, you can click on that and it will populate, possible partners, and these are people who have already signed up into the platform and are open as well for partnerships. For example, this one is for a person. So there are also persons there, not only for organizations, but you see here the information that's also with the person. You have control over what can be seen with your profile, so you can choose that. It's the same thing as with Facebook. Again, you can edit the information visible on your personal profile and then decide which sections can be seen by those that are going through the portal as well. It's just and then of course, if you want to contact a person, you can do so through the platform. And very important to note that there's no personal information disclosed through the form, and there is this mandatory CAPTCHA to make sure that you are not a robot. Okay. And there is just some reminders to make sure that you don't get spammed and there's no phishing. Okay, so there is no personal information disclosed to the sender. You will never get a information via email asking for personal information, so please don't fall for that. And of course, that's why you're reminded to have a two-factor authentication. Now let's look at submitting your proposal. So we've seen how it looks like when you go through the portal and then you see like the different programs that are open. And let's imagine that you've went inside. Let's see, when you want to apply, there are two main parts of the application form. Part A, you will be filling this online. This is usually just the administrative information about the applicant. Very, very important. And also the budget for the project. Of course, this is mandatory. Both are mandatory. Now, part B is very interesting in the way that instead of like filling it inside the portal, you have to download the form, fill it up, and then upload it again. And we will see it in a bit how that looks like, okay? And this one is, it contains a description of the action. You are, of course, answering, the criteria of the specific action that you are responding to, such as CBHE, and you are defining more about what you want to do based on the needs analysis that you have done for the proposal that you are going to submit. So just as an example, this is Horizon Europe, but we will try to look at because things are closed now with Erasmus, but essentially the same. You see here for this specific call, there are 47. Just as an example again, 47 partner searches. And then here, since it is open for submission, you can click on Start Submission if you want to submit already. And if you click on that, this is the proposal. So this is for Part A. So it's asking you for this administrative information. You fill that up. And then you see here that you download Part B. Okay, and I encourage you, just download Part B now for, for whatever maybe for an Erasmus Plus action, if there's anything that's open, just to see how it looks like, just to demystify, how the application looks like. And also it's important to note that there's a lot of support tools that are inside the platform. You have the online manual, you have the IT as well guide. There's also an email that you can use to, if you have some problems with IT, there's a very nice IT help desk. The great thing about them is, in my experience as well, is that even if they are, of course, very much experts in tech, when they explain to you, they really try, to explain it, in layman's terms, but with, very guiding you very gently on what you did wrong and how you can remedy it. And I really, really appreciate that. So it's not intimidating to ask the IT help desk of the EU funding and tenders portal. And then, of course, there's again the frequently asked questions. So this is how it looks like again. Now, before we go to the other to how it looks like live, and I really want you to see that. How about decentralized actions? Okay, so again, international credit mobility. This is not the focus of this session, but just to let you know, that's a little bit different. You will need an OID for that. And just to give you, you will get all of the slides anyway. Just in case you're interested in that, then you can also discover this. This is the Erasmus Plus European Solidarity Core page. It's essentially the same. We suggest that you try to look for your organization if you have just to see if the organization has been listed. If it's not listed, then you register it. Similar process with the funding and tenders portal, but then again, this is for international credit mobility. And again, for this particular action, you are not the one submitting. It is your EU partner that is submitting for you, and this is submitted through the national agency or their national agency that is handling the action, okay? So of course, help. How am I really supposed to remember all this? Not really. There is support, for example, for the Erasmus Plus and European Solidarity Core. You have support there, and of course, for the funding and tenders portal, as I said, there are guidance tools and manuals on how to do this. There's a frequently asked questions. There's a help desk and support services, and of course, you have your very active ENFP who we are supporting, so that if you have trouble just doing these things, even just registering, then of of course, we will gladly help Sasika, and Sasika has been incredible in participating as an ENFP and representing, of course, Sri Lanka. So we are very happy to do that for you and for her as well. Now, I'm not yet done. I want to show you how it looks like live, so we can really see together and demystify, this search. Let me just give me a second while I make sure that I'm inside the platform. Give me 1 second. Let's just, okay, all right. Let's start with helping you with your trying to find your partners, and also trying to see what are the projects that have already been funded, okay, to give you an idea, to get you inspired on what to do as well. So this is the Erasmus Plus project results platform, and for me and for many others who have been, working in Erasmus Plus in many different ways. I started as an alumni, and then after that I became a visiting scholar, through the Erasmus Plus program, and then of course now I work closely with colleagues from the Commission in supporting the Erasmus Plus national focal points. For me, in this process, it's very nice to know, and you should really use this to the maximum, this Erasmus Plus project results platform. This is a platform. This is basically a repository of all the EU Erasmus Plus funded projects. So you can click on that, search for funded projects, and depending on what you need, again, there are filters on how you can refine your search, whether you want to look at completed projects, on ongoing projects, or projects with results. If you go through here, you can see the topics, the fields, and also you can also search for the country, okay? But you can also very simply do it here. And I hope you can see it when I do this. I just put in a search query Sri Lanka. And here are the results of when I put Sri Lanka, okay? So let's see if it's populating now. So these are some of the answers, results of funded programs in Sri Lanka. So for example, there is this Inner Talent Project. Let's try to see if I can find CBHE, because that is the focus of today. So CBHE. Okay, here now we have this project. This has been completed. Let's try to see if we can find one that is still running. Let's see. Here. Oh, this is one very interesting project. I hope it has been presented today. So if I click on one project, curricula enrichment delivered through the application of location-based services to intelligent transport systems. Quite a mouthful, very interesting. It is still running right now. And if you click on the project, it gives you all of this information. First of all, that is still ongoing. They started in 2021, closing at the end of the year. This is the EU grant, that's what's received. This is, of course, the program, the key action, the action type. Of course, this is CBHE. There is a country covered. They have a website here. It also has an information of the coordinator, and it is in Vienna, in Wien, which is a higher education institution, of course, because this is a CBHE project. You get a summary of the project, and of course, Sri Lanka is very prominently there. And then you see here partners, okay? So the great thing about this is then it gives you an idea, okay, if you want to do something similar, then you can perhaps contact the partners and ask them, I'm planning, as the proposal will open in the next months, I want to get in touch with you and see if you are interested, in building this proposal together with us, knowing that you are interested in these topics, okay? So I see here General Sir John Kotelawala Defense University of Sri Lanka, and also the Sabaragamua University of Sri Lanka and University of of Sri Lanka. So I hope this project was presented today. So this is the nice thing about this project results platform. And this is just looking at projects, CBHE projects of Sri Lanka. You can do it also using this platform, search for other themes, let's say food technology, or I don't know, maybe artificial intelligence or something like that. You can search that. You can search also the country, and it gives you all of this information. It also gives you this nice participant map, so you can take a look at the participation inside this, the constellation of participation in this one. And if there are results, this one doesn't have the results, yes, of course, because it is still running. But you have already the project card that you can download. So there's a lot of information. And I love the fact that they have, of course, a website that they have to do. So this Erasmus Plus project results platform, again, you will get the slides. So you can click on this, but you can also Google it very easily. Erasmus Plus project results platform. It's really a very nice resource to give you an idea on who to partner with, also on what projects have been funded. So to give you an idea as well on what the Commission is looking at when it comes to the different actions, especially in CBHE, which is the focus of today. Okay, so that's the Erasmus Plus Project Results Platform. Again, this will also help you to find your partners, your perfect match. Now, just to show you how to easily find the EU and funding tenders portal, I just put here in the search, I'm using Bing, but you can also use Google Chrome. Very easily, and it's the first one that comes out, so very good SEO, search optimization. So you can click on the EU funding and tenders portal of the European Commission. When I click on that, it brings me to inside the site, and I've already logged in. So you see my name here, right there. And then, so this is my personal login, and I went inside the funding. So I put on a funding, and I searched on the kind of funding, Erasmus Plus, and it brought me, okay, I can go one back so you can see it. So there's a call for proposals, yes? And I went here just to show you that it is for an action under Erasmus Plus that is open for submission. However, a very important caveat, and this specific action in Sri Lanka is not eligible for, okay, because this is on sports. So this is an action that is not open, but just to show you how it looks like, okay? So very important to say. So those that are open for Sri Lanka, don't worry, there's a lot of opportunities there, not just CBHE, and that will be, you will get to know about, this project, these projects can be submitted, sometime in October once the call opens. But just to show you how it looks like when you go inside an action of Erasmus that is open for submission. Okay, so that's all we're doing here. But please take note that for this specific action is not open for you. Okay, it might change in the next years depending on what the Commission decides. But for now, it's not open for you. So, but just to let you see how it looks like inside. Okay, so you see here the topic, as we said, there's a general information that you see here. There's a topic description that you can read. And then you see here the eligible countries. So if you download that, you will not see Sri Lanka. And then there's eligibility and admissibility conditions. There's also very important to be within the page limits and the layout, and also in the evaluation, the criteria. It also varies depending on the action, the submission and evaluation processes, and all those types of information, okay? And then here, for example, as I told you, when you go inside, there are those who want to partner. And in this case, there are 4 institutions that are looking for partners for this specific action. Okay, so for this specific call for proposal, there are 4 that are looking to collaborate. And when the call opens for Erasmus Plus later in the latter part of the year, then you will see the same. Okay, and then here you start the submission. Okay, so if you click on that and you click on start submission, I will go to the next page so you can see it. This is how it will look like inside. Okay, so you get there the deadline. It gives you a nice little reminder of how many days left for until closure. It will look more or less the same for later on for the Erasmus Plus program, especially for CBHE, let's say. And then there's the call data here. And then this is, of course, this is now part A. You filled it up, fill this up here. And then, as I said, part B needs to be downloaded. So you download part B, you fill it up, and then you upload it again, okay? So once everything, now we cannot go to the next step because there are required things that are needed in order to go to the next step. However, I did download this for you so you can look at how it is when it's downloaded. So let's see hopefully how it looks like. Okay, here we go. So I downloaded part B, and this is how it looks like. This is the Erasmus Plus program. But again, this is a specific action, okay, that you cannot apply for. But essentially, the application form is the same. There's the part A is the administrative form, as I told you, and there's our reminders here on how to fill it up. So again, part A contains structured administrative information. Part B is the narrative technical description of the application. And if you just go through this and follow this to the letter, you won't go wrong because it's very, very precise on what you need to submit. So for example, sorry, are you looking at my slide? I think you're looking at the wrong slide. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, this is what I mean. You were looking at the wrong one, but now I hope you can see it. This is the application form, okay? So I downloaded the application form, and as I said, part B, you need to fill it in and then upload it again, okay? So upload form. I've been reminded that I don't have that much time, but I just really need to show you how this looks like. So please just follow the instructions that are here. It gives you the page limit, right? It gives you also instructions on the supporting documents, okay? It varies in every action. So for example, for this specific action, the minimum font size is 9 points. It gives you the page size. I mean, basically, you know, there's instruction here on how to do it. Please be faithful to this so that, you know, your application will not be discarded, okay? And it just gives you also a reminder on the administrative forms that it has to be filled directly in the portal submission screen. And then here is part B. There's a project name, and then here is what it covers. You have a summary, you have a concept and methodology. I mean, all these things, right? So just please fill it up depending on the award criterion. In this case, it asks for relevance, quality, and impact. There's a different criteria, of course, for capacity building for higher education and some other things that need to be answered also by you. So this is, again, part B. And then after you fill this up very nicely, for example, in the case of capacity building for higher education, one of the things that's very important is the log frame, right? Very important also to look at the work packages. The work packages have to be very tight. I don't have the time to show it now. Perhaps we can have another discussion on how to really build strong work packages, you know, and how to look at the indicators and how to make sure that it aligns with your needs analysis. So very important to look at that, but I just got a message that I don't have time with you. But in any case, if you have any questions, please contact your Erasmus Plus national focal points. This presentation will also be shared with you. There are clickable links there that you can go through. I will also attach a sample Erasmus Plus application form, just so you can look at it and try to maybe understand it a bit more, and then hopefully with this little information, and as we grow and build your information further, you can submit more successful proposals, not only for CBHE, but also for the other actions that are open for Sri Lanka. But that's it from my end. Very sorry that I'm rushing you, but I've been reminded. But in any case, if you have any questions, I'm here for the next hour. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Dr. Jenny Elmaco. Now, she will be joining us very shortly during the panel discussion, and she'll be happy to answer your questions.